안녕하세요. 선물 같은 인터뷰 양영은입니다. 오늘의 주인공은 정말 선물에 딱 어울리는 분인데요. 음악으로 또 기부로 주위에 많은 선물을 나누고 있는 분입니다. 비올리스트 리처드 용재 오닐 씨인데요. 생각해보면 리처드 용재 오닐 씨 이전에 우리에게 비올라라는 악기가 이렇게 친숙했던 적이 있었던가요? 지금까지 받아온 사랑을 기억하면서 앞으로 봉사자로서 열심히 살고 싶다는 리처드 용재 오닐 지금 만나러 갑니다. 와, 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
네, 드디어 이렇게 뵙네요. 반갑습니다.
반갑습니다.
네, 저희 프로그램 이름이 선물이거든요. 근데 선물 무슨 뜻인지 아세요?
알아요. 선물, gift. Yes.
맞아요, gift. 근데 최근에 했던 그 다른 인터뷰를 잠깐 봤는데 거기서 선물이라는 용어를 쓰셨더라고요. 그래서 우리의 삶이 다 선물이다. 최근에 용재 씨가 받은 선물 어떤 게 있는지 좀 여쭤볼 수 있을까요?
I think many people know me because they have heard me talk about my personal life, and they have given me their gift of sharing their story.
Right.
And I get hundreds and hundreds of emails from people, especially after the last few months, because I revealed some very sort of personal information about my life, and so people have sent me all these wonderful letters of encouragement, support, and also offering their gift of sharing their stories. And how does this relate to this month of music making? Music to me is, besides being communication, and I can't say with my words, but I can totally say it with music. I feel like that sort of is the gift that goes both ways. Because when I go on stage, I put everything out there. Mm-hmm. I don't hide. I have to be myself. I have to be confident. But at the same time, I have to be very ultimately vulnerable. Because otherwise I don't think it's a good performance. How does that relate to people, my personal story, and all these people that have shared their personal stories with me, is that life is really hard. Life throws us some really tough lessons, really tough lessons. And sort of suffering is part of growing for a lot of people. I have some physical gifts that might be very telling.
정말요?
3 physical gifts. If you just,
3개나.
yes, that will tell you what's been going on in my life recently. Oh. So,
네.
the first,
뭐예요?
because my viola is named Gorillar. This nice young lady gave me this little gorilla.
오, 잠깐만. 그 비올라의 이름이
Gorillar. The name
Gorillar,
이름이 is Matteo Gorillar. So my name for it is Gorilla. Mm-hmm. And so this young lady gave me this little monkey. I think it's really cute because on the monkey it says, city of Bach, which is, my life is Bach this month. I've been living and breathing the music of J.S. Bach, which I think Bach is one of my gifts. Bach is the best. 최고.
제일 존경하는 아티스트.
I love Bach. I think Bach is, to me, the best. Mm-hmm. So that's my first gift was to me. I was given this at the beginning of the month, and he lives in my case.
와.
The second gift, what else is going on in my life? Well, this had been going on for now a year and a half. I was given this picture of my orchestra kids, the Anyang Orchestra.
안녕 오케스트라.
Yes.
So 24 kids.
Now it's up to 50 kids. There was one afternoon I didn't have any schedule, so I ran out to Onsan and I got to visit my kids because I missed them terribly, and I've been so busy that I didn't get to see them. So in my visit, I saw that the orchestra has doubled. Now we have 50 children, which is, this has been perhaps the greatest gift to me, I think, ever, is seeing these kids. Just one look from my kids, and I feel like restored. That is my second gift, and perhaps my most precious. And my third gift is this little picture right here.
아무도 못 알아보겠는데. 근데 여기에 1960년 1월이라고 써 있어요.
This is my father, actually. This little picture of my father when he was a little boy, sitting at the dinner table with my aunt and my uncle. So this gift hasn't happened yet because I'm going to go meet my grandparents for the 첫 번째 after I leave Korea. So I have a couple weeks in the United States, and then I go to meet them. So that will be one of the gifts I've been waiting for of my whole life. So that will be a wonderful gift to me.
할아버지?
Yes,
So?
and 하고요, 할머니.
할머니. 근데 할머니는 돌아가셨다고 하지 않았어요?
No. Oh, this is my father's grandmother. My father's mother and my father's father. So my mother's mother and father are
알았어요.
unfortunately no longer here. But I will meet them. My 할머니, I think, is she's getting a little I don't know how to call it in Korean, but her memory is not so good.
치매, 알츠하이머.
Alzheimer가. I think that's one of the life lessons I've learned in the last couple of years is don't take things for granted. If you want to say something, say it now. If you want to do something, don't wait. Because that opportunity there's no guarantee that you'll get another opportunity. Yeah, important. It's very important. Don't wait.
그런 생각을 하게 된 계기가 있었어요? 특별히? 왜냐면 아직 젊은 것 같아요. 아직 그런 깨달음을 얻기에는 아직도 젊은 것 같은데 그런 생각을 하게 한 계기가 있었어요.
Oh, well, for a large part of my life, I was surrounded by people that were older, namely my grandmother and my grandfather. When they passed away, I went out into the world and I became completely focused on music, just music. It was like a refuge, and I basically didn't look at anything else. It was my entire life was the viola. And while that's rewarding, recently and a few years back, I started teaching. And so I went from being around a lot of older people to being around a lot of younger people.
그렇네요.
And seeing people that were at the beginning of their life. And that to me was life-changing in a way because I don't have any siblings, and I just have my mom and my mom's wonderful partner, Bill. And that's my family, that's it. And I have a select number of wonderful friends, and those people I would basically, I'd die for them. They are I treasure them more than anything. But being around a lot of children and seeing how quickly, I'm in my 30s now, and how quickly the sort of life cycle goes, and I don't want to think about just myself. I never really thought about just myself, but I want to think about what's life going to be like for these kids? What's life going to be like for their kids? Because I blinked my eyes and I'm in my 30s. So I'm going to blink my eyes and I will be in my 50s, and I'll blink my eyes and then I'll be close to death. So I realized time is so precious. Time waits for no one. It really goes faster and faster and faster. And it's a selfish thing too for me to say that, to be around the kids, because in a way I think being around the young and the impressionable has also made me feel more like I'm younger. It's given me so much energy and courage almost to kind of just do things. Because one thing I think about becoming an adult, we become more inhibited. We start thinking about what people think of us. We start having the weight of things like illness, death, job responsibility, anxieties. There's all these things that start weighing us down. And if you think about how it was as a child, when the world is just such a wonderful sort of adventure, I think that's such a wonderful perspective. And I see so many people lose that. And that sort of wonder, sort of the magic of being alive. And being around these little kids, and they're screaming and they're just so open, and they just say what they think. And not saying that I want to just say what I think now, but I think it's been really wonderful to be around the young.
이 순간에 질문이 있어요. 뭐냐면 우리가 별명을 알게 됐는데 학교에서 UCLA에서 별명이 미친 선생님? 미친 교수님?
Yes. Well,
미친 교수님 영어로 뭐예요?
my way of thinking, if somebody were to give me a delicious chocolate cake and I were to eat it by myself, I wouldn't be happy. I would taste it and fine.
네.
But my joy, my true joy comes from sharing. It's always been that way. It's the way I was raised, and it's also something that's just my personality. I don't like to take things and it's mine, that doesn't make me happy. I'm not on this planet to take and hoard away things. If there's something amazing, share it. Why hold on to things,
그러면 초콜릿 케이크를 나눠 먹는 게 좋은데 맛있어요. 근데 이 사람은 초콜릿 케이크를 안 좋아해, 별로. 맛을 잘 몰라서. 근데 나는 이게 맛있고 건강에도 좋다는 거 아니까 먹여주고 싶어요. 그럼 어떻게 해요?
Taste is indisputable, right? I mean, I can't say my taste is everyone's taste. I never have ever said that. But what I do say is that there are certain things I think that throughout history have had something so wonderful about them that they've survived the onslaught of time. I was just in the car the other day, and I was thinking of some of my favorite music, and it was jazz. I love jazz. It's not classical music, but I'm not saying, I think music in general, it doesn't have to necessarily be classical music, but music, there's something that since the dawn of man, people have been looking for music, cavemen with flutes, why? Why do they want to make music?
왜요? 왜? 저도 궁금해요.
I don't know. It's in our DNA, perhaps, that we want to communicate with something besides words. Music is not an intellectual thing in the sense that, when I speak to you, or I try to speak to you, I had to learn how to speak. I had to learn the words. I had to think about things. I had to do all this sort of intellectual stuff to get to the point where I could communicate to you. With music, whether it be classical music, jazz, whatever genre, part of it is maybe intellectual, but another part of it I think is much deeper. It's the same reason why babies And children, before they can talk, I think they can listen to music because it does something to people. It does something, and people react to it, and it's very powerful. Not just classical, but music in general. And I think that's why it's one of our greatest things. It's one of our greatest gifts as human beings, that we can enjoy music.
우리 아직 그 질문 안 끝났는데. 미친 교수님.
Oh, why am I crazy? Let's go back. I'm always such a bad question answerer. People often don't believe me. I don't think a lot of people are kind of, who are you? But what would be an example? A friend of mine needs a car. Rather than selling it to them, I'll just give it to them. A student of mine with less means needs to go to an important program. His parents don't have money. He's on full scholarship already. I tell him, I'll pay for it. I think we have to really give back. It's just, we have to. I don't think of it as a sort of like, oh, I think I should be a good person. No, you just do it. Just do it. Because sometimes I feel like the society, the way it is it's tenuous, you know? I think that it really boils down to personal responsibility, you know? If people are always expecting other people to be good and other people to take care of others, I don't think our society will do well. I think we really need to take personal initiative to take care of others and to be responsible citizens and make sure that our civilization goes forward. You know, I really believe in that.
꿈이 뭐예요? 앞으로 이렇게 물어봤을 때 그때 답이 뭐예요?
I hope we move forward. I hope we as people that we take care of each other, and rather than fight each other and tear each other down, that we build each other up. You're talking to an artist, very naive, kind of child, you know, artist. But I really, if everyone took their own personal responsibility to be a good person, and maybe not ask the question, what can I do for myself, but what can I do for others? And how can I make a difference? And not just talk about it, but do something. You know, that would be my wish. Because can you imagine if everyone on this planet, young or old, tried their best to do something for others? Can you imagine what kind of place this would be?
How can you yourself contribute to that?
I can set an example. I can try my best to be a good person, to be honest, to have integrity, to not think about what is best for me, but what is best for my friends, for my society, for the society to come. Yeah, that's the beginning of it. And it's a hard one, and it's very hard to think about because it's like, I think human beings, we all, sometimes the self-serving aspect takes over. And we start thinking about what's good for us and what's good for our interests. While I think that's a part of being human, I think there's also another part that a nobility of spirit, generosity, you know, and trying our best to not be short-sighted, to think about things, how will things affect, you know, our children's children? How, you know, there are ramifications for our actions. And it's something I've been thinking about a lot.
연주도 해야 되고 그다음에 디토 감독도 해야 되고 또 학생들도 가르쳐야 되고 대학교에서 그렇게 바쁜데 지금 얘기한 것 중에서 그 나눔을 실천할 수 있는 그런 구체적인 계획이 있어요?
Invest in the younger generation. They will be the future. And from my experience, that future comes a lot sooner than you'd think. Lead by example, have integrity, be yourself, always do your best, no matter where you are. Enjoy every moment. enjoy others. Tell people, what you really think. Don't wait. You might not get the opportunity later. Don't assume that there will be another meeting. Enjoy every moment when you have it. Don't let things pass you by and expect that you'll have it later.
우리 그럼 연주 들어볼까요? 다 박수 쳐야 될 것 같지 않아? 오늘 너무 고맙습니다. 선물하고 함께 해줘서.
대단히 감사합니다.
네, 그리고 지금도 많은 선물을 받았다고 얘기했지만 앞으로 더 많은 선물을 받고 또 그 선물을 사람들이랑 다 나눌 수 있기를 바랄게요. 응원할게요. 네. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you for that interview today.